Good afternoon, everybody. I am from a Bollywood area in Lokhandwala, so it's the right topic for me. Light, camera, action, capturing surgical videos and digital still photographs. I have no financial interest in any of the methods or products. Steven Spielberg, be cautious. We all come of ophthalmic photography because there are myriads of imaging techniques available for us to document things. Like extraocular, Dr. Bipasha really gave us a broad view about it. Slit lamp photography, fundus photography, ophthalmic optical coherence tomography, fluorescent angiography, video imaging of eyes gazing in different directions, surgical photography, surgical video, recording, analog, digital, and now HD format, fundus autofluorescence imaging, etc., etc. External ocular photography, probably this is the least reliant on the sophisticated instrumentation. You just have a DSLR cameras, easily affordable. Basic requirement 50 to 60 mm with a 2x teleconverter brings focus from infinity to 1 millimeter. Use a light source which is a point source of quality illumination, and you can have a quality pictures. Slit lamp photography, probably one of the most challenging forms of ophthalmic photography. You see here the first one is the diffuse light illumination. The next one is a broad tangential beam showing the corneal pathology in a much better resolution. The third one is the retro illumination. The fourth one is the sclerotic scatter. This one here, the sclerotic scatter. Then these are the dye, rose bengal and the fluorescing dye. This all can be done very easily with the slit lamp photography. Today, let me explain you now. Going to the trade today, we can see we can easily do the documentation with our smartphones and just have an attachment with the slit lamp. So all these things can be much more easily done than a fancy photo slit lamps or a slit lamp with the photo attachments. It's much more economical now and much more easier. Even a newcomer can start with the simple photography of the slit lamp. These are advanced digital cameras with this photo slit lamp. We can have a very fantastic resolution of the posterior capsular thickening. Now let's come to the fundus camera. Fundus photograph should be sharply focused, evenly illuminated, and deeply saturated in color. Only the patient's retina should be visible. Anything else is an artifact. I'm going to give you a few tips. Now, this all becomes pretty obsolete now when I show today down below a remedial handheld fundus camera with a smartphone. You can take fundus pictures very easily, but let me come to the whatever we have just now, the Zeiss cameras or the Nidec camera or the Topcon cameras. The tips are the orange. If you see orange crescent, the camera is misaligned. Move camera in the opposite direction. If you see a blue peripheral haze, camera is too far away from the eye. Move camera forward. If you see a bright blue-white central reflection, camera is too close to the eye. Please move the camera backward. And if you see pale vertical tan or white streaks, these are lashes. Retract the eyelid during photography. If you see spots, streaks remaining in the field regardless of the subject position, these are tears, dust spots or dirt on the objective lens, and please clean them. Orange or red image with no detail is a closed eye or a blink synchronized with the flesh. Retract the eyelid. There is we can do the video indirect recording by a simple arrangement with the modified gas lighter holder, slid in a horseshoe camera flash adapter of the handheld video camera, and with the torchlight put over there for the source of illumination, and you can record the infants and the children who are not cooperative with the recording of the fundus details. Can you go back there? Now this there in one of the Indian Journal of Ophthalmology, one of our Indian only has invented this video indirect recording. I cannot, I may be overstepping into my next speaker, but convert the camera's output into a digital file. Now coming to the video recording for a posterior segment, save the data in a format that your computer can read, include software for editing the video files to a more manageable size. And I always believe, do it yourself, it will be much cheaper. How to get good video footage? Always, while video is getting recorded, ask the assistant to keep the watch that surgical field is always centered. Use optimal magnification to capture the video footage. Important basic points: white balance and the black balance, illumination system, what are the sources and the types, angle of field, viewing system, that is a viewing system, CCD 3-chip camera or 1-chip camera or a microscope. Now this is here, you can see the correct white balance, and our eyes are very good at judging what is white under different light conditions. The color temperature of different light sources are different. That is why picture turn out with a yellow-orange cast in tungsten lighting and bluish or greenish in a fluorescent lighting. We have to understand these principles. The source of illumination for a video shooting in the posterior segment is microscope bulbs, halogen metal halides, xenon, photon, etc. or illumination systems. Xenon being nearer to daylight is probably the best light source for retinal viewing. You will be always careful for phototoxicity. Can have a diffuse or a global illumination where the light pipe is closer to sclerotomy rather than area of interest, so that the tip of the light pipe is not seen while operating. It gives adequate diffuse or global illumination, an essential requirement for good video. The viewing system is wider field of view gives better views, visibility and the video. So wide angle lenses, contact or non-contact, are better for video compared to the irrigating contact lenses. However, best stereopsis is with the contact lens. So many people use contact lens for macular work. In my opinion, 90 diopter lens of Biome which I am using is ideal for all work like vitrectomy to fine epiretinal membrane peeling. It is like 20D lens for binocular indirect ophthalmoscopy. Newer version of Biome have 120 to 130 field of, so one needs 60 diopter lens for macula. Now come to the camera. 3 CCD digital camera is definitely better than a single CCD camera for better resolution of colors and quality of pictures. Microscope, a good quality microscope with a good optics is very essential. Beam splitter with 50-50 component is better for video quality. Related important point, gain control. I'll just come to the quick tips for you. Don't need a hire consultant if you know how to connect to DVR or TV. Buy from a helpful retailer a good telephone help desk that dispense advice liberally. Don't pinch pennies on a laptop. The most expensive hardware, the MacBook Pro with the Retina display. Buy premium quality cables, because inexpensive cable will cause poor conduction and digital noise. Edit videos immediately, because spend a few minutes streaming out the routine parts of the procedure and saving only 1 or 2 GB of teachable moments. Don't eat up your laptop storage space. To know more about ophthalmic photography, you can go to these websites. There are plenty of information available for us to learn. There are special journals and special conferences are held on ophthalmic photography. There is so much to learn about ophthalmic photography and to put it into our practice. But we may start with the simple things, with the slit lamp photography with our smartphones. Thank you very much.